All right. I don't know if anybody's actually going to join in this one, but because it's so hard to do videos at my house, I came to my office to do a quick video on Zoom Court, the tips and tricks that I think people really need to know, and some background information on how 3B District Court works with Zoom Court. So, somebody asked in my live stream the other day, how in the world do I get on so quickly when Judge says my name? It's like, bewitched or something. Well, all you do is you're in the courtroom, but you have your camera turned off. And sometimes I have my audio still on, but usually I turn that off as well so I don't inadvertently talk to one of the staff members or something and pipe in on the live stream. So that's how it's done. So basically, Judge has it set where you can't see on the YouTube feed. Oh, hi, everybody. I won't turn the chat off. I promise. I don't even really know how to do it while I'm doing this. But anyway, so Judge has it set where unless you have your camera turned on, you don't see the person. So we have like our little pictures or whatever they're called that kind of hold your place. And so he knows if I'm on the stream, but sometimes I walk out to get a coffee or something in the other room. So he gives me a minute. But most of the time, if I have my camera turned off, but I'm waiting for him, I usually am just sitting at my desk doing other work. Um, Pre-trials. So when we have people that are doing pre-trials, they are held in a Zoom in a not streamed Zoom, I guess I'll say. So one of the magistrates generally, or one of the probation officers, runs that particular Zoom. So you don't see any of the people that are there for pre-trials for misdemeanors. You don't see them until they come in to actually take a plea or do something with the judge. Okay. President of my fan club. Perfect. Why do we see so many people during the hearings? Honestly, that's more of a judge thing. When people log in, he brings them in right away, which kind of nice in some ways, but kind of difficult in other ways. He doesn't have a clerk that handles it for him. So judge is literally doing his own streaming, clerking, getting people in, making sure their names are right. I wish we had the money to have a clerk sit there for him and do it. I think it would make things a lot easier on him. But that's why you see all the people in the hearings. And again, because people don't know to turn off their camera, you see them doing bizarre things. I've seen, I don't even know, so many people eating, smoking, drinking, wearing a hat, walking around. Somebody was in the bathroom one time. Then we heard like the flush too. They didn't turn off their audio. uh, Doing their hair. There was a lady that was literally braiding her hair, and judge kind of gently gave her the option to stop. She's like, "I got things to do," and kept braiding her hair during the hearing. So definitely not ideal. That leads me to my top tips for people that are going to be in Zoom court. This is for attorneys or for people that are there for their own court hearing. Number one, download the Zoom app. Like, so simple, right? Download the Zoom app and set it up. Make sure that you have your own real name on it. If your phone has a nickname or your Bluetooth has a nickname, it could show up and you don't realize it until you're in with the judge and getting roasted. So make sure that you check your settings well before your hearing date. Don't try to just download that on the date of your hearing. Terrible idea, especially because data and internet in our county is not always the greatest. Okay, next, click join using internet audio. Like, I don't know what's so difficult about that part of it, but I would say 90% of the people that don't have audio are because they didn't click that option when they first get brought in. It says either click to join using internet audio or computer audio. And that's a weird way to say it, but that's what you have to do. So I was trying to tell people go back out, come back in, and click that button. Also, for God's sakes, turn off your camera and mute your mic until the judge calls your hearing. Again, there's going to be lots of people in there. And if there's 14 faces on the screen and you're picking your teeth or whatever people do because they don't realize that we can see them, just turn off your camera. Judge will see whatever your background photo is. Again, going back to your settings issue, make sure that your background photo is not inappropriate, that it's not an inappropriate word. Make sure that you get that setting right. Uh, Then set your device down on a solid surface. Like right now, I'm using a laptop. So it's a solid surface. It doesn't jiggle around. I move around just because that's how I am. But when you're moving around and your camera's moving around, it is so distracting. And as judges say, you're giving me vertigo. So try to set it down, set it still, and then don't touch it. Leave it alone until your hearing is over. Also, going back to why I think people do really weird things that they don't realize that we're looking at them. If you're on a phone and you don't have it set to anything other than active speaker mode, if it's on active speaker mode, you're only going to see the person who is speaking at the time. So maybe it's the judge or the prosecutor or the defendant whose case is up or the attorney, whatever. But we can all still see you picking your teeth and doing weird things. So make sure, again, turn your camera off. Also, have your device connected to a charger. Funny, going back to like way back, March 2020, that was one of the things like, oh, my phone's like not charged. Right. But a lot of people don't realize how much it sucks the battery out of your phone or your device, whatever you're using. So have a charger, plug it in. It just makes it so much better than realizing halfway through the hearing that now you're on low battery and it starts blinking and turning it off. Also, set your phone, if you're using your phone, to do not disturb. That way, when your friends call or text or whatever the case may be, it doesn't blink and then shut your camera off and make it such an issue. Also, don't talk over the judge ever. You wouldn't do it in the courtroom, so don't do it on Zoom court. If he's speaking, you just be quiet and you listen and you wait. It gets you nowhere to snap or talk over somebody. It's the way it is. If you have an attorney, call them before the hearing date. I don't know what is so hard about this. And this was when I was in defense practice too. We would get a case, it gets appointed to us, and the poor attorney doesn't get very good information about where you are. People's phones change, which is kind of crazy because I think I've had the same cell phone since I was in college. But people tend to be a little more transient with their numbers and addresses. So the attorney, usually, I would say 99.9% of the times, the attorney always at the same spot, always the same phone number, always the same email, always the same address. So please use your attorney. If it's a court appointed attorney, you need to make sure that you call them. Again, it takes 30 seconds. And I know some people have this like anxiety over calling somebody that they don't know. I mean, that's our job, is to take care of your case. We're not going to be mad at you for calling us ahead of time. We're going to be thanking you for calling us ahead of time, because the worst is to show up at court, especially now that it's Zoom court, and try to wait for judge to be able to put you in a breakout room with the person to speak with them for the first time ever. And then there's time limits on the breakout rooms. Then you come back in and again, you're interrupting another hearing. It can all be avoided by simply calling your attorney ahead of time to have that consultation, whether it's phone, in person, whatever. And again, don't eat, drink, smoke, wear a hat, braid your hair, whatever. Don't do those things. You're in court. That brings me to wearing appropriate clothing for court. I get it. Sometimes it's like you're zooming in from work, right? Fine. Keep the camera up here. Like, I don't know, dip your head down if you have to. But if we see like you're wearing a swimsuit or something that's not appropriate, it's not a good look. So whatever it is that you're wearing for court, make it appropriate. Again, some of the courts have very strict rules. Like Judge Pattison, you don't show up in pajama pants. Can't do it. Oh, goodness, I didn't turn off my notifications on the computer. So there's like some courts, like in Branch County next door to us, they literally have a sign: no swimwear, no pajamas. To even have to say that is kind of crazy. Also, oh yeah, face toward any open windows. Like if your screen, or I'm sorry, not your screen, if your curtains are open and there's light coming in, you can't have that behind you, or it's like a total shadow and we can't see you, and it's kind of creepy looking actually. Or if you have a lamp or something, put it so that you're facing the lamp and your camera is facing you. That way we can actually see your face and see what's going on. Also, I know this is a difficult one. Go somewhere quiet. I don't care if it's your bathroom, your basement, your whatever. go away from your barking dogs or meowing cats or loud kids. I mean, I got those, I get it. Or your loud neighbors. And if you're outside, please don't be near a train track when it's like the time for the freight train to come by. So it just makes it super distracting. I think those are probably like most of the tips that I have. I'm gonna try to scroll through the comments real quick and see if there's anybody that I can answer quickly. I'm doing well, thanks. It's like, hi, how are you? Oh, thanks for the kind comments. Broadcasting of Zoom hearings. I mean, honestly, like I said the other day, I have zero control over how long these hearings are going to be broadcast for. We unfortunately are having what I would say is a spike in severe cases of COVID around us. So I don't know how that's going to affect our local courts. We were supposed to be back in person for everything. And I know Mike sent me a message this morning. Hey, I posted a video with a joke at your expense, which is fine. I can take a joke. It's all right. But it was one where I was in the actual courtroom and we found out why the buzzing and crackling and snapping and popping was happening. It's the mute button. So when you're in the courtroom, there are two sides and then a podium in the middle. So as a prosecutor, when we have hearings, we generally have our main officer, like our officer in charge, is sitting there with us. And if I need to say something to him, I like push the mute button and then talk to him. That way it's not broadcast all over the courtroom. It's not made part of the court record. It's the only way that we can have a private conversation. Well, unfortunately, apparently the mute button is now a buzzer of some sort. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they get that fixed before we get back on Monday. Not really confident that that's going to happen, but there's always a chance. Yes, there was a very unfortunate famous name. I think Court Cam covered that one. I thankfully was not logged in for that one. I was watching, waiting for my hearings, but was not there for that one. Oh, it'll be less entertaining if I'm giving this coaching. Here's the thing. The people that are coming into Zoom Core probably aren't going to watch this. I'm just trying to help the general public to not make a spectacle of yourself, right? I mean, that's kind of the game plan. Discord, if it's open. I don't know what that means. Oh, so Judge Boyd requires everyone to have their camera on when they Zoom in, but their mic off until called. I mean, that's not a terrible idea. The only thing is for me, and then maybe this is selfish, is when there are so many pictures, like the Brady Bunch or Hollywood Squares or whatever. That really dates me when I make those references. But anyway, when you have those, I have a hard time seeing the person that I'm supposed to be watching because I always look for body language and reactions. And if they're making an indignant face when I say something, whatever, I try to keep an eye on them. If we're in the courtroom, I can just look over and see them. But on the Zoom court, if there's 14 people in there, it can be kind of hard to keep track. Year of the Tiger. Oh, that's funny. That was one of the only shows that I watched a little bit over the past few years was Tiger King. My husband watched it and he thought it was entertaining. So we watched that for a bit. Let's see. Use a device that's connected via Ethernet instead of Wi-Fi if possible. So true. That's why I'm sitting in my office with our Ethernet cable hooked into the laptop. Makes it so much better. Oof, military dress uniform. Ouch. That one was a really painful one because I don't know. If you saw that video, it made my heart hurt for the poor guy. I don't think he was necessarily given great information on that. And yes, the private information on stream, mobile numbers, addresses, that sort of thing. Definitely don't give those out, right? You're doxing yourself. Those are things that you can give directly to the court by calling them or emailing them, or you can give it to your attorney who can give it to the court if that's something that they need. Hi, Unclean Hands. Happy New Year to you too. Hopefully you had a fun night last night. How does a judge know what pants you're wearing over Zoom? That's a really good question. And honestly, I'm going to say a lot of yoga pants have been worn in our office. by me because the guys don't wear yoga pants, but I'm a little sad that I have to go back to wearing real dress pants every day. I don't know. Those Beta brand ones, I found like a kind of a cheaper version on Amazon. My husband got me a pair for Christmas because it's like, look, I need stretchy dress pants because the regular suits that I've had, it's just time to upgrade, I guess. And also, there are times where if you stand up on Zoom, we can see that you're not wearing pants and also create some pretty awkward situations. Oh yeah, hit the like button. I don't really know like what that really does. Like and subscribe. That's what everybody says, right? So please like and subscribe and share if you find any of this information valuable. And yeah, the attorneys working from home sharing these same struggles. I get it. Same thing here. Thankfully, I've been able to stay at the prosecutor's office for most of my hearings. There's been a few times where we've had quarantine issues and I've had to work from home, which is horrific because, again, my cell service there is not great. But when I do have to work from home, I just work from my private office in Colon that my husband is on me to decide what I'm going to do with this office building. But right now it's like my YouTube studio, right? I can sell it to him like that. Okay. Oh, yeah. Don't pick the room next to somebody that has a restraining order against you. Good call. I like that. Judge Pattison does not put his docket on YouTube. It's a choice. If it's not required by the state court administrator's office or the Supreme Court, it's a choice of the local judges to decide what they want to do as far as streaming. When the courthouse is open, which it is, I mean, anybody from any state, any country, anywhere, you can show up at the courthouse and walk in and sit respectfully in the courtroom and listen to any hearing that's going on. So when that is happening, it's not necessary for the accessibility to have it streamed. So Judge Patterson chooses not to. He does sometimes have streams where it is more so just when he makes a ruling on a motion or on a case so that it can be given to the people that are interested in it. And I mean, I don't know, other people maybe watch it sometimes. Yeah, quit pushing the button. I know. I was just trying to check it. So if maybe if you push it a few extra times, it would stop doing that weird noise, but it definitely didn't. Okay. Do. Yeah, definitely not shave and wear a hat. Shaving doesn't matter. I mean, like if you have facial hair, that's fine, but don't wear a hat unless apparently it's a religious headdress or something. Let's see. CPS court hearings. Yeah, there are some courts that are doing that. Our probate court does not. They do not broadcast those, even when there was the need to do it because the courthouse was closed. The probate court has a lot more discretion than other courts to choose to close the courtroom. Again, it's dealing with very sensitive topics with minor children. So not something that you would want just kind of publicly broadcast for people to potentially misuse. Somebody saw Matt smile. That's funny. Let's see. Oh, hitting the like button promotes my channel on YouTube. Well, thank you, Unclean Hands. As always, I love getting information from people that have been there, done that, because I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of here, but that's fun. No, Pattison and Pattins. No, they're both Pattisons, but no, they're not brothers. The two judges that you were asking about. Um, let's see. Don't break into the judge's house. Yes, please don't do that. That would be a very, very bad idea. And yes, I'm using a different laptop, so the mic is actually working this time. So thank you, everybody that hung in there for literally 35 minutes while we tried to figure out a way to get around the mic issue. That was really unfortunate, and I hope to never have that issue again for you guys. And let's see, 3B streaming. Again, I got no control over it, but at this point, Judge is going to continue streaming until he decides not to, I guess. Kind of like he'll like keep his hair long until he decides not to. So I guess that's the beauty of being a judge, kind of get to make those decisions. All right. All judges in the states, all local judges, as far as your circuit court, probate court, district court, they are elected. There are times where if a judge leaves the bench early, maybe there's illness or there's some sort of issue that goes on, they then have an appointing system. So I believe it's, I can't, honestly, I don't even want to say because I don't want to get it wrong, but there's a committee that then chooses somebody to be appointed to take over for the rest of their term. So I think that probably covers the topic that I had set. So 20 minutes, I mean, that's not too bad. Hopefully, it wasn't too boring for everybody. But if there are things that you want to hear about, a different topic that you want to know more about, drop it in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. I mean, obviously, like I've said a bunch of times, I can't talk about specific cases unless they are completely over, which most of them are not. So there's always that potential that there's going to be somebody who has a probation violation, that sort of thing. So I don't want to talk about any cases that we've had recently. But definitely, I appreciate all of the kind comments and the constructive criticism too. I can take it. So thank you again. And I hope you guys are all having a lovely first day of 2022. And let's make it a good one.